Papa Kusha, could you give me the I want you to bring one for one. The other one as well? Pause. Antoine. Yayan, which means one. Yakan. Laya Sha'ala, which means to Israel. Shapar again. I imagine, which means to stand. Salapanya Hakodam, which means turn to face the east. We're going to do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Avanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Kodah. Hayah. Shemka. Yahawah. Malakaka. Taba'ah. Ratazaka. Hayah, I.S.U.P.K, Barataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathalanau, Ka, Dua, Masalatnau, Kawatnau, Kasalatnau, Kawathinau, Wala'ah, Adiayanau, Manasaya 1, Abal, Haushana, Mayan, Pride, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Waha'ala, Akapara, Alamium, Aman. Salaki, Baba Kusha, someone to pass me the other binder. In English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever, so be it. Hakat the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh. Hashem Yahushua. Baruch Nathalanau. Hakat. Lava'ah. Kamakala. Kamarua. Hakat. Batahar. Sazariah. Hakat. Bahapia. Hakat. Arakawa, the Tana Allah, the Garashan, Bashim Yahushua, Wanaman. In English, Yahweh, the name Yahushua, please, give us the power to heal, all manner of sickness, and all manner of disease. Power to cleanse the lepers, power to raise the dead, power against unclean spirits. Cast them out. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it. Bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Barak Lamela, Vayasharala, Mahabayasapaya, Barak, Rabah, Hagad, Ba'ashem Yahushua, the Wara Aman. In the English, Yahweh, in the name Yahushua, bless us, and Israel, and the school, bless, heal, shield, protect. In the name of Yahushua, thank you. So be it. Blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh, Wa Yahushua, Wa Mayaka'al, Wa Alahaya, Batazab Ya'am, Alawap Yahanna, Ha Alawapia, Ha Surrender, Ha Kotizayanda, Ha Kayayalda, Wa Ha Akwafia, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, the Waraman. In English, bless you, Yahweh, and Yahushua, and Michael, and the angel, commanding General YAHANNA, the general, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, thank you. So be it. Psalms 121. In the Hebrew, Asha'ah,
Ayanya,
Ayanya, Al-Hahoya, Mayan, Yaba'ah, Isaiah, Isaiah Ma'ai, Yahweh, I.S.U.P.K, Shemayim, Baratasa, I.S.U.P.K, Lamawat, Regalka, Al-Yanawam, Shemarka, Hanalaha, Yanawam, Walaha, Yayashan, Shawamah, Yasharala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Aliyah, Yamyanka, Yawamah, Hashemah, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayarak, Malayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makarai, Yashemah, Akapashka, Yahweh, Yashemah, Tazahaka, Wawaka, Ma'aika, Wa'aid Iwalam. In English, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hill. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out, and thy coming in, from this time forth, and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, Al-Dami Alakah, Al-Takarash, Wa-Al-Tashakwat, Al, Kayahanna, Awayanika, Yahanna Yawan, Wamashanayaka, Nasha'awa, Raj, Al-Amaka, Yairiyamwa, Suwad, Wayakaya Aitazawa, Al-Tasawanyaka, Amara, Lakawa, Wanakakira, Magoya, Walaha, Yazka, Shem Yashrala, Iwan, Kaya, Nawa Aitazawa, La, Yakaiwa, Alika, Maya, Yakarakwa, Ahalia, Adawam, Wayashma Alaya, Mawa'aba, Wahabaya, Gabal, Wa'anawa, Wa'amala, Palasha, Amyashabia, Tazawar, Gam Ashua, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zarawai, Labanya Lawat, Salah, Aisharaha, Kamanya, Kasaya Saraha, Hayanya, Banakal, Wayashwa, Nashamadwa, Baayanda Ara, Hayawa, Daman, La'adama, Shayatamwa, Nadayamwa, Kaira, Wakazahaba, Wakazabah, Wakazamana, Kaunasir Kamwa, Ashar, Amawa, Nairashah, Lanawa, Nawa, Alahayam, Shaitamwa, Kagagala, Kakwash, Lapanya Raka, Kaash, Tabiari, Wakalama, Talat, Hayam, Kantor Dhamma, Basaraka, Wabasabhaka, Tabalam, Malaha, Panyam, Walawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shamka, Yahweh, Yabashwa, Wayabahawa, Aya, Wayakapawa, Wayabagwa, Wayadaawa, Salam. Kaya, Rata, Shamka, Yahweh, Yulakbaka, I the one. I'll call her Arataza. In the English, keep not thy silence, O power. Hold not thy peace. And be not still. O power. For love thy enemies make it tumult. And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. And consulted against thy hidden one. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation. That the name of Israel may be no more remembered. So they have consulted together with one consent. They have conferred against thee. Tabernacles of Edom, and the Israelites, of Moab, and Hagrid, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. A sword also is drawn with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites. As to Sisera. As to Jabin. At the brook of Kison. Which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their noses like a ram. And like Sahara. Yea. Or their princes as a Ba. And as a Amuna. Who said, let us take to ourselves the house of Yahweh in possession. On my power. Make them like a wheel. As a stone before the wind. As the fire burneth the wood. And as the flame shut the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest. And make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faith with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea. Let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High of all the earth. Translations in English. Blessed are you, Yahweh. King of heaven and earth. And all things living. Yahweh. The name Yahushua. Listen to us now. Right now. Said evils and curses. And punishing destruction. To the heathen. That speak against us. Thy prophets. The teachers. The princes. The priests. The Israelite brothers. And the school. Said evils and curses. And punishing destruction. To the heathen. And shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel. And I refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Said evils and curses and punishing destruction to the Edomites and the nation and their drug dealers, court system, prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, posse comitatus, gay movement, lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, open up the internet, and the airway, cable access channel, and the radio channel. Convict the spirit of any of our people that seek to stop us and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahushua, Michael and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathens
and punish all the heathen
that come up against us,
that come up against us,
as we speak thy word.
as we speak thy word.
Because we know by all,
Because we know by all,
that is the angels that have done it.
that the angels that have done it.
Because you spread to the media,
Because we respect the media,
by the whole world.
by the whole world.
Because of the shake thy coming.
Because we shake thy coming.
Name Yahushua.
Name Yahushua.
Thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it.
God. Yeshabia. Salakia, sorry for me to turn. Yeshabia, which means to be seated. Salakia. Salakia, give me 1 second. We're starting 1 Kings 18 and 21. Yeah, give me 1 second. For 21 and 18, I want to say, actually. Okay, yeah, we're starting at 21 and 18. 22 and 18, 1 Kings. 22 and 18, come. All right, Salakia, give me 2 seconds. Just, yeah. Yeah. 22 verse 18. All right, I'm gonna just go ahead and start. Wa'amar Malak Yasharala al Yahawashapat Halawa Amarathia Alayaka Lawa Yatanaba Ayo Tawab Kaya Rai 19 Waya Amar Lakan Shemai Dabar Yahweh Ra'ayah Af Yahweh Yashab Ayo Kasawa Makal Tazaba Hashamyam Ahmad Alyawa Mayan Wa Mashamal 20 Wa Ya Amar Yahweh Maya Yapatha Af Akab Wayael Wayapal Baramath Galai Wayamar Za Baka Waza Amar Baka 21 Wayataza Haraka Waya Aimal Lapanya Yahweh Waya Amar Anya Apathanwa Waya Amar Yahweh Al Bama 22 Waya Amar Atazar Wahaya Raka Shakwar Babia Kal Nabaya Waya Amar Tapatha Wagam Tawakal Tazar Wa Aisha Khan 23 Wa Aitha Hana Nathan Yahweh Raka Shakwar Babaya Kal Nabayayaka Allah Waya Howard Dabar Al Yaka Rai 24 Yakan Wayagash Tazadak Yua Bun Kanaina Wayaka Ab Mayak Yawu, Ayu, Halakya, Wayamar Ayaza Ibar, Raka, Yahawa, Maasya, Ladabar, Mawafka. All right. So we're in 18. I'm pretty sure this. Try to. And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat. So basically, the king of Israel and the king of Judah came together to try to go to war. They one of the prophet's insights, the Most High would be with them. They just called forth all the king of Israel's prophets, and then everybody was like, "Yeah, you good, go out and fight." But there was one prophet, the king of Judah wasn't convinced, so he said, "No, call this cat, call him and ask him." And the king of Judah is like, "Yo, I don't want to call him because every time I talk to this cat, he never has a good thing to say to me." They call him and basically doesn't have a good thing to say. And basically, this is how he answers. 18. And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, Did I not tell thee that he would prophesy no good concerning me, but evil? 19. And he said, Hear thou therefore the word of the Most High. I saw the Most High sitting on his throne, and all the hosts of heaven standing by him, on his right hand and on his left. 20. And the Most High said, Who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. Okay, so that's what that is. They were lying. They were false prophets who were giving him a false prophet. We're going to get into it. 21. And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Most High and said, I will persuade him. 22. And the Most High said unto him, Wherewith? Meaning like how? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, Thou shalt persuade him and prevail also. Go forth and do so. Meaning the Most High is allowing him to go forth and do this. What is this also a precept for? Con.
Only thing I'm thinking on that the Most High controls everything. He gives orders.
No. What is this a precept for? Quash? Verse 22.
That's with Satan.
That's exactly it. Give him a hand. That's exactly it. What Satan. Remember what's called the Most High. Satan had to go to the Most High and be given the right to deal with Job, which is the same thing this angel had to do. He couldn't go on his own and say, I'm going to just do this and come back later and tell the Most High I did it. No, he had to get permission. Why? Because there's a rank structure in the kingdom of heaven. Meaning what's called Satan does not act on his own. And there's a scripture you can pull to show that no spirit does that. Right? 23. Now therefore, behold, the Most High hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets, and the Most High hath spoken evil concerning me. 24. But Zedekiah, the son of Canana, went near and smote Micaiah on the cheek and said, Which way went the Spirit of the Lord from me to speak unto thee? So basically, a cat thought it was a good idea to slap him, right? After this cat then gave a prophecy, did what the Most High, did what he was ordered to do by the Most High. He gets slapped for it, right? So 25. All right, come. Wayamar Mayakayawa Hanak Ra'a Bayawam Hahawa Ashar Taba'a Kadar Bakadar Laha Kaba 26. Waya Amar Malak Yasharala Kwak Af Mayak Yahawah Mayaka Yahwah Wahashayabah Al Aman Shar Ha'ayar Wa'al Yawaash Aban Hamarak 27. Wa Amara Ka Amar Hamarak Shayam Wa Af Za Baya Hakalal Wa Haakala Wa Lakam La Kataza Wa Mayam La Kataza I Baaya Ba Shalom Ya Waya Amar Mayaka Ya Shawab Ta Shawab Ba Shalom La Dabar Yahweh Baya Waya Amar Shemaiwa I'm Yam Halam 29 Wayail Malak Yashrala Waya Hawa Shapat Waya Hawa Shapat Malak, that's Jehoshaphat. Malak, Yahawada, Ramath, Galai, 30. Waya Amar, Malak, Yashrala, Al, Yahawah Shaphat, Hatakapash, Waba, Ba Malakama, Wa'ata, Labash, Bagad Yaka, Waya Kapash, Malak, Yashrala, Waya Bawa, Bama Lakama, 31. Waya Malak, Aram, Tazawa, Sharia, Ha Rakal, Ashar Loa, Shalashyam, Washanyam. Okay. 30 years, I believe. Why it's like a la amar la talakama talakam wa af watan wa gadawo kaya av malak yashrala labadwa. John 25. And Micaiah said, Behold, thou shalt see in that day when thou shalt go into an inner chamber to hide thyself. 26. And the king of Israel said, Take Micaiah and carry him back unto Amon, the governor of the city, and to Joash, the king's son, and say, Thus saith the king, Put this fellow in the prison and feed him with the bread of affliction and with water of affliction until I come in peace. And Micaiah said, If thou return at all in peace, the Most High have not spoken by me. And he said, Hearken, O people, every one of you. 29. So the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, went up to Ramoth Gilead. So basically, he said, I had this cat arrested for telling him the truth. And basically, like, don't release him until I come back safely. And he basically said, you ain't coming back safely. You come back safely, I ain't even the prophet. So basically, these cats go up, ignore his warning altogether, and go up to go do battle. 30. And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, I will disguise myself and enter into the battle, but put thou on thy robes. And the king of Israel disguised himself and went into the battle. Meaning, usually a king is glorified on the battlefield. Like a king makes himself known. He'll have on the best garment. Usually his horse might be white. Like everything about him will stand out. Like that's the thing about Israel. Like a lot of people don't understand. Like the way Gad dresses is how Gad goes to war. And you're not supposed to do that unless you're about that life. Like y'all think that drum is festive. That drum is basically saying, I want all the smoke, including the smoke signals. Please come. I'm banging the drum. Where y'all at? Where's the fighter? I want all the smoke. that's a thing of royalty. Usually you'll see like old movies where like Braveheart or something, like it'll be in like some type of low valley, and you'll have a hill, right? You'll have two hills on either side. And like you'll have the general and possibly a king, right? Or the head of the armies on both sides overseeing the battle. And then when things get rough or so on and so forth, then they'll enter the battle. But they usually take it aside and let it be known, I'm the cat in charge here. And then depending on the civilization you're dealing with, that can determine that man's life. Like in certain civilizations like Esau, back in the day, during like the revolution and all that, Esau was known to have a war etiquette, meaning your high-ranking officials, right, would be arrested and captured, and then a negotiation basically to get him over here would happen, right? Meaning to get him back. Okay, so he's saying, I'm going to disguise myself. I'm not going to look like a king. But the king of Syria commanded his 32 captains that had rule over his chariot, saying, fight neither with small nor great, save only with the king of Israel. So he's saying, I don't want you to kill anybody else. I don't care about anything. I don't care about their captains. I don't care about their generals. Kill their king. That's all I want to see done. Right? 32. All right, 32. YAHANNA Karaawa Sharia Harakab Ath Yahwa Shapat Wahama Amarwa Aka Malak Yasharala Hawa Wayasarwa Alua Laha Lakam Wayazai Aikul Yahawa Shapat Uslaki 33 Wayahaya Karaawa Sharia Kan Harakab Kaya La Malak Yashrala Hawa Waya Shawabwa Ma'akar Akaryawa 34 Wa'ayash Mashak Bakwa Shak Latamwa Wayaka Asmalak Yashrala Bayan Hadabakyam Wabayan Hasharyan Waya Amar Lara Kawa Hapak Yadak Wahawatazayan Man Hamakana Kaya Hakalyaya 35 Wathaila Hamalakama Ba'ilam Hahawa Wahamalak Haya Ma'imad Bamarakaba Nakak Aram Wayamath Ba'arab Wayatazakwak Tazak Dam Hamaka Al-Kayakwa Harakab 36 Wayaibar Harana Bamakana Kabal Hashamash La Amar Ayash Al Ayarwa Wa Ayash Al Aratazawa 37 Wayamath Ha Malak Waya Bawa'al Shamarwan Waya Kwabarwa Av Ha Malak Spa Shamar 1, 38. Yashatap Av Harakab Ayo Barakath Shamarwa 1. Wayalakwa Hakalabyam Av Damwa Wahazanawaf Rakataza Kadabar Yahal Ashar Dabar 39. 38 was the last? No, all right, so 32. 32. And it came to pass when the captains of the chariots saw Jehoshaphat, so all that disguise didn't mean a goddamn thing. They found him easily. Oh, that they said, surely is the king of Israel. So they mixed up the king of Israel with the king of Judah. Right? And they turned aside to fight against him. And Jehoshaphat cried out. And it came to pass when the captains of the chariots perceived that it was not the king of Israel, that they turned back from pursuing him. Why? Because their orders were specifically for the king of Israel, not the king of Judah. Okay? 34. And a certain man drew a bow at a venture and smote the king of Israel. Between the joints of the harness. Wherefore he said unto the driver of his chariot, turn thine hand and carry me out of the host, for I am wounded. Yo, get me out of here. I got shot. Yo, drive. Okay, the joints and the breastplate is what I'm getting here. Joints of the harness. So more than likely, he got him like straight in, he got shot in the chest. He got shot in the chest, Salakia. 35, and the battle increased that day, and the king was stayed up in his chariot against the Syrians and died at even. So he was just in the car, like dying, or in the chariot dying, right? And the blood ran out of the wound into the midst of the chariot. 36, and there went a proclamation throughout the host about the going down of the sun, saying, every man to his city and every man to his own country. So the king died, 37. So the king died and was brought to Samaria, and they buried the king in Samaria. And one washed the chariot in the pool of Samaria, and the dogs licked up his blood, and they washed his armor, according unto the word of the Most High, which he spake. This is fourth or third? Huh? Fourth? Count. All right. The 39. All right, count. It's 39. Okay. Wayathar, the Baria, Akaba, Wakal, Ashar, Aisha, Wabayath, Hashan, Ashar, Banab, Wakal, Ha'irayim, Ashar, Banab, Halawal, Ham, Kathawabyam, Io, Sapar, Debaya, Hayamyam, Lamalakyam, Yasharala. 40. Wayashakab, Akab, Ain, Abath, Yoel, Wayamalak, Akazayawa, Banwa, Takav, Yoel. 40. Wayahawashapat, Ban, Asal, Malak, Ayel, Yahawada, Malak al Yahawada is a king of Israel. Bashanach, Arabai, La Akab, Malak, Yashrala. 42. 4 years, I'm guessing. That's supposed to be. 42. Y Yahawashaphat ban Shalash Yum. Y Kamash Shana ba Malakiwa. Y Sharyam. Y Kamash Shana Malak Bayar Washalam. Washam Amwa Izawaba Ba Shalakya. 43. Yalak Bakal Darak Asaa Aba Yawa La Sar Mama Nawa La Shawaf Ha Yashar Ba'ayanya Yahawa. 44. Akab Haba Mawaf La'ab Sarwa Iwad Haim Mazabakyam Wamakwatarium Baba Mawaf. 44. Yashalam Yahawah Shapat Ein Malak Yashrala. Wayathar Wayathar Dabar Yahawah Shapat Wagawaraf Ashar Aisha Ashar Nalakama Hala Nalakam Hala Hum Kathawab Yum Ayu Sapar Dabarya Ha Yam Yum La Malakia Yahawada. 47. 46 was the last? Okay, yeah, Khan, let me know ahead of time, Baba Kusha. Well, just count it out and then let me know. So I don't. Khan, all right. 39. Now the rest of the acts of Ahab, 1 Kings 22 and 39. Now the rest of the acts of Ahab and all that he did, and the ivory house which he made, and all the cities that he built, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel? And thanks to the so-called white man, we do not have access to these records. 40. So Ahab slept with his fathers, and Ahaziah, his son, reigned in his stead. And Jehoshaphat, the son of Asa, began to reign over Judah in the 4th year of Ahab, king of Israel. 42. Jehoshaphat was 35 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 20 years, 20 and 5 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Azubah, the daughter of Shalahi. And he walked in all the ways of Asa his father. He turned not aside from it, doing that which was right in the eyes of the Most High. Nevertheless, the high places were not taken down, for the people offered and burnt incense yet in the high places. 44. And Jehoshaphat made peace with the king of Israel. Now the rest of the acts of Jehoshaphat and his might that he showed, and how he warred, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah? All right, copy. So 45 was the last verse. I think we already read 46. So I read 46 already. I'm gonna just go to 47. While you thought, Con, you sure? Because I was about to go to 47. You sure? All right, copy. 46. 46. Wayathar Dabaya Yahawah Shapat Wagaba War Rath. Well, yeah, I did read it. Ashar Aisha Wa Amar Nalakam Yakan. I did. Hala'a Hum Kata Wabyam Ayu Sapar Dabaya Hayam Yum La Malakia, YAHANNA. 47. YATHAR, HaQuadash, Ashar, Nashar, Bayamya, Asa'ab, Abayawa, Ba'ira, Man, Ha'aratazar. 48. Malak, Ayan, Ba'adawam, Natazab, Malak. 49. Yahweh Shaphat, Ashar, Anayawaz, Tarash, Yash, Lalakath, Awapyar, Rab, Lazahab, Wala, Halak, Kaya, Nashabara, Anayawaz, Ba'ai Yawa, 1, Gabar. 50. Az, Amar, Akazaya, 1, Ban, Akal, Al, Yahweh Shaphat, Yalakswa, Ibadia, Ein, Ibadiaka, Ba'an Yawaf, Wala'a, Abba, Yahweh Shaphat. 51. Waya Shakal, Yahweh Shaphat, Ein, Abath Yoel, Waya Kwabar, Ein, Abath Yoel, Ba'ayar, Dawada, Abba Yoel, Waya Malak, Yahawada, Yahweh Ram, Banwa, Dakath Yoel. 52. Akazayawa, Ban, Akal, Malak, Ayo, Yasharala, Ba Shamar 1, Ba Shanaf, Shabai, Asherah, La Yahweh Shaphat, Malak, Yahawada, Wa Malak, Ayo, Yasharala, Shanath Yuk. All right, about to finish this off. And the remnant of the Sodomites, which remained in the days of his father Asa, he took out of the land. Meaning, so any homosexuals that were still in the land after Asa, what's it called? He said he got rid of the rest of them. Right? 47. There was then no king in Edom. A deputy was king. Jehoshaphat made ships of Tarshish to go to Ophir for gold, but they went not, for the ships were broken at Ezion Geber. Then said Ahaziah, the son of Ahab, unto Jehoshaphat, let my servants go with thy servants in the ships. But Jehoshaphat would not. And 50. And Jehoshaphat slept with his fathers and was buried with his fathers in the city of David, his father. And Jehoram, Yahweh, his son, reigned in his stead. 51. Ahaziah, the son of Ahab, began to reign over Israel in Samaria the 17th year of Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, and reigned 2 years over Israel. 52. And he did evil in the sight of the Most High, and worked in the way of his father, and in the way of his mother, and in the way of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin. So this is the last, this is the sixth set, right?
Yep.
Okay.
5 or 6.
This is 6 that I'm entering now, right? Yeah, count. All right.
Except, okay.
Oh, this is the end of the chapter. So, like, is anyone following along in the Tanakh?
Do you have a verse 53 in yours?
I have a 53 and 54.
That like I said, I have a 54. It goes 53 to verse 1. It's verse, I was on the top of my, I don't know.
Yeah, that'll happen sometimes.
That's why I grabbed the book just now. I think the book goes from 53 to verse 1 as well. Got the small one over there, you got the big one.
Because 53 is. Because my 53 is this 52.
I know
It's
that.
52.
My phone was looking like that, but this book right here, this one right here goes from 53 straight to verse 1. This is the
53, let me see. Oh, that's right. All right.
The Hebrew is good. The English is terrible.
That's interesting.
Abide, this time to just do your
Time.
book, okay?
Come. All right. So this doesn't have a 54, but. Oh, okay. This is the order's messed up somehow. All right, come. We're reading the same thing, but in here it's 53, but in here it's 54. It's different. All right. Why Habail, Shatak Lawa, Kais, Yahweh, Allah, Yasharala, Kakal, Ashar, Aisha, that's like an Abel Yuwa. Okay, and we are officially in 2 Kings 1:1. So start with 6. Okay, Waya Pashai, Mawaba, Bayasharala, Akarya, Moab, Akab. To Wayapal, Akazaya, Bai, Hashabaka, Baalayah, Ashar, Bashamarwan, Wayakal, Wayashalak, Malakyam, Wayamar, Alaham, Lakoa, Darashwa, Babail, Zabawab, Alahaya, Kwarwan, Akaya, Makalia, Za, 3. Malak, Yahweh, Debar, Alaya, Hatashavia, Kwawam, Isla, Lakwarath, Malak, Shamarwan, Wadabar, Alaham, Mabalia, Ayan, Alahayam, Bayasharala, Atam, Halakyam, Ladarash, Babail, Zabawab, Alahaya, Aikwarwan, 4. Walakan, Ka, Amar, Yahweh, Hamata, Ashar, Alia, Sham, La'a, Tarad, Mamana, Kaya, Mawab, Tamawab, Wayalak, Alayaha, 5. Wayashawab, Malakium, Alayawa, Wayamar, Alayaham, Alayayam, Ma, Za, Shabbatam, 6. Wayamara, Alayawa, Ayash, Ayla, Lakwara, Tanwa, Wayamar, Alayanwa, Lakwa, Shawabwa, Al, Hamalak, Ashar, Shalak, Athakam,
Dabaratham ala Yawa ka Amar Yahweh. Wow. Ha Maboya Ayan ala Hayam Bayasharala Ata Shalak Ladarash Babail Zabawab ala Hayam I Kwarwan Lakan Hamata Ashar Ayah Sham La'a Tarad Mamana Kaya Mawa Tamawa. Alright, so let's just end this last verse.
7 here?
No, this is 6, and then we go on to 7.
All right.
7. For he served Baal and worshipped him, and provoked to anger the most high power of Israel. Somebody give me my young Bible show. According unto all that his father had done. Yakan. Perhaps that Bible show. Yakan. Yakan Bible show. Not too much. This enough. 2 Kings 1:1. Then Moab rebelled against Israel after the death of Ahab, and Ahaziah fell down through a lattice in his upper chamber that was in Samaria and was sick. And he sent messengers and said unto them, Go inquire of Baal Zebub, the god of Ekron, whether I shall recover of this disease. 3. But the angel of the Most High said to Elijah the Tishbite, Arise, go up to meet the messenger of the king of Samaria, and say unto them, Is it not because there is not a God in Israel that ye go to inquire of Baal Zebub, the god of Ekron? Baal Zebub is another name. Christians are very dumb. They try to say Beelzebub. You probably hear in this idiot's rock music, our oppressor's rock music. A name for Satan. Basically, Beelzebub is basically another name for Baal, right? Who they basically like everything goes to Satan. Basically, this is the same deity that they lied and said Christ is doing miracles in the name of. He does miracles in the name of Beelzebub. That's Beelzebub, right? 4. Now therefore, thus saith the Most High, Thou shalt not come down from that bed on which thou art gone up, but shalt surely die. And Elijah departed. 5. And when the messengers turned back unto him, he said unto them, Why are ye now turned back? 6. And they said unto him, There came a man up to meet us, and said unto us, Go turn again unto the king that sent you, and say unto him, Thus saith the Most High, Is it not because there is not a king in Israel that thou sendest to inquire of Beelzebub, the god of Ekron? Therefore thou shalt not come down from that bed on which thou art going up, but shalt surely die. Salam. Done. Wayadabar alaham ma mashapat ha ayash ashar isla lakwara'athaka come Wayadabar ala yakam ha dabaryam ha ala waya amara ala yawa ayash bail shire Wa'azawar, Azawar, Bamatanyawar, Wa'yamar alaya, Hafashabya, Hawa'ab, 9, Wa'yashlak, alayawa, Shar, Kamashyam, Kamash Yawa, Wayail, Al Yawa, YAHANNA, Yashab, Ail, Ra'ash, Hahar, Wayadabar, Al Yawa, Ayash, Ha'ala Hayam, Yakan, Hamalak, Dabar, Radah. 10. YAHANNA, Allah Yahweh, Allah Yahweh, Dabar al Shar Ha Kamashim, Wa'am, Ayash, Alahayim, Anya, Darad, Ash, Man, Hashamyam, Wa Ta'akal, Atka, Wa'av, Kamash, Yaka, Wa Tarad, Ash, Man, Hashamyam, Wa Ta'akal, Aqua, Wa'av, Hamash, Yua, 11. YASHALAK, Al Yua, Shar, Kamashim, Akar, Kamash Yua, Dabar, Al Yua, Ayash, Alahayim, Ka Amar, Hamalak, Mahara, Radah. 12. YAHANNA, Alaya, Dabar, Alayaham, Am, Ayash, Alahayam, Anya, Tarad, Ash, Man, Hashamyam, Watakam, Atka, Wa'av, Hamashika, Watarad, Ash, Alahayam, Man, Hashamyam, Watakal, Atwa, Wa'av, Hamashiyawa, Khan. 13. Yashalak, Shar, Kamashiyam, Shalash, Kamash, Yowa, Yael, Yabah, Shar, Kamashiyam, Shalayash, Karai, Ayu, Barak, Yawa, La Nagad, Ala Yahal, Takan, Kanan, Takanan, Ala Yawa, Dabar, Al Yawa, Ayash, Alahayam, Tayakwar, Na'a, Napashya, Napash, Badika, Allah, Hamashyam, Ba'ayan, Yaka, Rek, John. 53. For he's, wait, I did that already, right? Yeah, I'm bugging out. Okay. 7. Right, 7. And he said unto them, What manner of man was he which came up to meet you and told you these words? And they answered him, He was an hairy man, and girt with a girdle of leather about his loins. And he said, It is Elijah the Tishbite. Nine. Then the king sent unto him a captain of 50, this guy, with his 50. And he went up to him, and behold, he sat on the top of an hill. And he spake unto him, Thou man of God, the king hath said, Come down. 10. And Elijah answered and said to the captain of 50, If I be a man of God, then let fire come down from heaven and consume thee in thy 50. And there came down fire from heaven and consumed him in his 50. So we're clear. They were trying to arrest him. Right? Mosai didn't want him to be arrested. So he said, yeah, if I'm a man of God, this won't stand. God's going to kill you for this. God's going to make fire rain down from the sky to show I'm a man of God and that you can't just treat me any type of way. And that's exactly what happened to this man. Slacked. 13. And he said again, a captain of the sense again, a captain of the 3rd. Oh, Slacked. 11. Again also he sent unto him another captain of 50, with his 50. And he answered and said unto him, O man of the power, thus hath the king said, come down quickly. 12. And Elijah answered and said unto them, if I be a man of God, let fire come down from heaven and consume thee and thy 50. And the fire of the power came down from heaven and consumed him and his 50. So this is the third time this has happened. 13. And he sent again a captain of the third 50 with his 50. And the third captain of 50 went up and came and fell on his knees before Elijah. So this cat has a little sense. He humbled himself and besought him and said unto him, O man of the power, I pray thee, let my life and the life of these 50 thy servant be precious in thy sight. Don't kill us like everybody else. God.
That's it, right?
God. God, I imagine up here. Shapar, what you mean, Torah? John. Yayan, which means wine. It's good. I.S.U.P.K, which means to Israel. Again. All right, Imagine, which means to stand. Saw upon your Hakwadam, which means to turn and face the east. Do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Wadash. Ayah. Shamka. Nahawa. Rakuska. Raba'ah. Rakazaka. Ayah. Aisha. Barakaza. Uwa. Ayah. Bashamayim. Natalanawa. Kal. Uwa. Asalak now, Awaf now, Asalak now, Awaf now, Mara'ah, Adai now, Manasai 1, Abba, Awsha now, Ayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Amalapa, Wa'ala, Watavara, Awalamian, Aman. English, our Father, and try to hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Don't lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever, so be it. Let's count the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Hashem Yahushua, Bakusha, Athananaw, Akha, Lava'ah, Kal Makalah, Kal Marawa, Akha, Latahar, Amatazariah, Akha, Mahaki, Akha, Arakawa, Tamahara, Garishan, Bashem Yahushua, the Wadaman. In the English, Yahweh, name Yahushua, please, give us the power, power to heal, all manner of sickness, all manner of disease, power to cleanse the leper, the power to raise the dead, power against unclean spirits, to cast them out, in the name of Yahushua, thank you, so be it. Bless Israel in the Hebrew, Yahweh, Hashem Yahushua, Barak Bayasharal, Abba Yasapaya, Barak, Rabah, Agun, Hashem Yahushua, Wadaman. What we just said was, Most High, in the name of Yahushua, bless us and Israel in the school, bless Yoshua, protect in the name of Yahushua, thank you, so be it. Blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh. Wa Yahweh Shai. Wa Mayaka Allah. Wa Arahaya. Matazab Ya'ah. Ala Wap Yahanna. Ha Ala Wap Yahanna. Ha Suranya. Ha Kotazayanya. Ha Kaya Yalia. Wa Ha Akwafia. Wa Ha Slakia. Yahweh. Bashum Yahushai. Tuwaraman. In English, bless you, Yahweh. Hey, Michael. And the angels. Command General Yahanna. The generals. The captains. The officers. The troopers. Ambushers. Yahweh. And then Yahushai. Thank you. So be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah. Ayanya. Al-Hahaya. Bayan, Yabah, Isaiah, Ma'an, Yahweh, I.S.U.P.K, Shamayam, Warataza, Alitan, Lamawat, Galga, Yahweh Yanawam, Shamaka, Kanalaha, Yanawam, Walaha, Yayishan, Shalmah, Yasharala, Yahweh, Shamaka, Yahweh, Zalka, Aliyah, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashemah, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayara, Layala, Yahweh, Yashemaka, Makarat, Yashemah, Afnapashka, Yahweh, Yashemah, Tazahafka, Wawaka, Ma'aika, Wa'id Alalam. In English, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills. From whence comes my help? My help coming from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. You will not tell thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in. From this time forth and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Al-Hayam, Adam Yalaka, Alta Karash, Alta Shakwat, Kayahanna, Awayabika, Yahamayawan, Wamashanayaka, Nasha'awa, Rash, Al-Ainaka, Yarayamu, Suwad, Wayakaya Aitagawa, Alta Zawanyaka, Amawa, Rakawa, Walikalkilu, Magoya, Wala'a, Yazaka, Shem Yashrawa, Iwan, Kaya, Iwa Aitagawa, Lab, Yakadwa, Aliyaka, Baya, Yakarathwa, Ahalia, Adawam, Wayashima Aliyah, Mawahaba, Wahagaya, Gabar, Wa'anuan, Wa'analak, I'm Palasha, I'm Yeshabda, Tazawar, Gam Ashawar, Alawa, Imam, Iowa, Zarawat, Labanya Lawat, Salah, I.S.U.P.K, Kamadian, Kasaya Sarah, Kayabian, Barakal, Wayashwan, Ashamarwa, Ayanda Ara, Iowa, Daman, Adama, Shayatumba, Nagayamua, Kairab, Kazawa, Kazbak, Katazamana, Karamazekama, Ashar, Amara, Irashah, Lanawa, Ah, Nawa, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shayatumba, Gagla, Kakwash, Lapanya, Raka, Kaash, Amara Yara, Wakalahava, Talahat, Hayam, Kantar Dapma, Basa Araka, Waba Salpatna, Sabbath, Amala, Hanyam, Walawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shamka, Yahweh, Yabashwa, Wayabahawa, Ayadai, Wayakapawa, Wayabanwa, Wayadaiwa, Kaya, Ata, Shamka, Yahweh, Abaka, Ayawan, Al-Kaha, in English, keep not thy silence, O power.
Keep not thy silence, O power.
Not thy peace.
Not thy peace.
And be not still.
And be not still.
O power.
O power.
Below thine enemies make tumults.
Below thine enemies make tumults.
They that hate thee have lifted up the head.
They that hate thee have lifted up the head.
3, they have taken crafty counsel against our people.
They have taken crafty counsel against our people.
They have consulted against our every one.
And consulted against our every one.
They have said.
They have said.
Come.
Come.
And let's cut them off from the nation. That the name of Israel.
That the name of Israel.
May be no more remembered.
There is no more remembrance.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
They have consulted together with one consent.
They have conferred against thee.
They have conferred against thee.
The tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom.
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites.
Of Moab.
And Moab.
And Hagrid.
And Hagrid.
Gabal.
Gabal.
And Ammon.
And Ammon.
And Amalek.
And Amalek.
The inhabitants of the Philistines.
The Philistines.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
A sword also is drawn with them.
So also join with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
And hope in the children of God.
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them
Lord to them.
as unto the Midianites.
And unto the Midianites.
As to Sisera.
As to Sarah.
As to Jabin.
As to Jabin.
As to brother
As to
Kisan.
broken Kishon.
Which perished at Endor.
Prepared to Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became like dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like a rat.
Make that number like a rat.
And like Zahab. Yea.
Yeah.
All their princes.
All the princes.
As a Baal.
As a God.
And as a Muna.
As a moon.
Who said.
Who said.
Let us take to ourselves.
Let's take to ourselves.
The house of the power.
The power.
The house of the power.
The house of the power.
In possession.
In possession.
All my power.
All my power.
Make them like a wheel.
Make them like a wheel.
As a stumble before the wind.
As the stumble before the wind.
As the fire burns the wood.
As the fire burns wood.
And as the flames set the mountains on fire.
As the fire set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them with thy tempest.
So persecute them with thy tempest.
And make them afraid with thy storm.
Make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their face with shame.
Fill their face with shame.
That they may seek thy name.
And they seek thy name.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Let them be confounded.
Let them be confounded.
And troubled forever.
And troubled forever.
Yea.
Yea.
Let them be put to shame.
Let them be put to shame.
And perish.
And perish.
That men may know
But they will know
that thou,
that thou,
whose name alone is
whose name alone is
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
are the most high
of the Most High,
of all the earth.
of the Lord of the earth.
Curses. I.S.U.P.K. curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth.
And all things living.
And all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
The name of Yahweh.
The name of Yahweh.
Speak to us now.
Speak to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evil and curses.
Send evil and curses.
Punishment and destruction.
Punishment and
To
destruction.
the heathen.
To the heathen.
That speak against us.
That speak against us.
Thy prophets.
Thy prophets.
The teachers.
Teachers.
Princes.
Princes.
Priests.
Priests.
Israelite brothers.
Israelite brothers.
And the school.
And the school.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
Punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
And shake loose the treasure.
Shake loose the treasure
of the rich of Israel.
of the rich of Israel.
I refuse to give to the school.
That refuse to get to the school.
Force their riches.
Force their riches.
To enter into that sanctuary.
Into our sanctuary.
Send evils and curses.
Evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
Punishment and
To the
destruction.
Edomites.
To the Edomites.
And the nations.
And the nations.
And their drug dealers.
And the drug dealers.
Court system.
Court system.
Prison system.
Prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments of our enemies.
All the governments are our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
The Pope.
The Pope.
Islam.
Islam.
Christianity.
Christianity.
Egyptology.
Egyptology.
Militia.
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation.
Aryan Nation.
Skinhead.
Skinhead.
Posse Kamikaze.
Posse Kamikaze.
Gay movement.
Gay movement.
Lesbian movement.
Lesbian movement.
Spies.
Spies.
Workers of witchcraft.
Workers of witchcraft.
NASA space program.
NASA space program.
Army.
Army.
Navy.
Navy,
Air
Air
Force,
Force,
Marine,
Marines,
Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Open up the internet.
Open up the internet.
And the airways.
And the airways.
Cable access channel.
Cable access channel.
And the radio channel.
And the radio channel.
Convict the spirit.
Convict the spirit
Of any of our people.
Any of our people
That seek to stop us.
that seek to stop
That
us.
brings up destruction.
That brings destruction.
To all leaders.
To all leaders.
That stand in the way.
That stand in the way.
And try to stop us.
And try to stop us.
From broadcasting your word.
Broadcasting your word.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Throughout the planet Earth.
That lose all the plagues.
Lose all the plagues.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Those who go to and fro.
Through the earth.
Through the earth.
And consume them.
And consume them.
Let the plague shake.
Let the plague shake.
The house of the thief.
The house of the thief.
And the murderer.
And the murderer.
Let Yahweh shine.
Let Yahweh shine.
Michael and Gabriel.
Michael and Gabriel.
Down with the flying saucer.
Down with the flying saucer.
And punish all the evil.
Punish all the evil.
That come up against us.
Come up against us.
As we speak thy word.
As we speak thy word.
Let it known by all.
Let it know by all.
And it's the angels that have done it.
That the angels have done it.
Let it be spread through the media.
Let it spread through the media.
Throughout the whole world.
Throughout the whole world.
Let the shake thy come.
Let the shake thy come.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it.
Cyrus, we need to turn. We're going to give one courtesy salute. Now, Israel, I'm Shabbat. I'm Masha. Barak. Yahweh Bashem Shabbat. Yahweh dismiss. Huh? Yeah, cut it.